And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Mille Fiori. And this is a Reiner Knizia game, and I did something I don't normally do, and that's I ordered a copy of this from Europe and printed out the English rules, which you can find online. I normally don't do that, but I was very interested in this one. Reiner Knizia makes a lot of fantastic games, and we did a top 100 Reiner Knizia games just recently on our channel. But I heard good things about this one. I want to try it out. This one is coming to America in an English version later this year, probably closer to the end of 2022. But like I said, if you really want to play it now, you can get a copy of it, and I wanted to put it in the Dice Tower library. I guess I'm kind of spoiling the fact that I like the game, which is fine. Let's take a look at how it plays, and we'll be right back. On the board, you have a spot to keep track of your score. You also have a ship down here next to a ship track. And then you're going to get a bunch of diamonds. You have all your diamonds. Some of them are set aside for end game scoring, because when someone runs out of diamonds, that's one way the game end triggers. But if you still get to place more, you'll grab from that spare reserve. You have a bunch of cards that are next to the board, but there's a big deck of cards, and then the game takes place over several rounds. In each round, players are going to get dealt a hand of 5 cards. One person is going to be the starting player, and that will rotate each round of the game. You're going to look through these cards. You're going to pick one that you want to play. You'll pass the rest of the cards to the next player. With the start player, each person will then play their card and resolve it. Then you'll take the 4 cards passed to you, pick one of those, do the same thing. When you're down to just 1 card left in your hand, that one does not get passed or played. Instead, it is added over to the cards over here in the display, which I'll come back to. Now, for each space here on the board, a diamond space on the board, there's 1 card in the deck. When you play a card, you have 2 options to use that card. One of the options could be moving your ship. When you do that, you're going to ignore everything else on the card. This moves your ship 3 spaces. You'll move this down here, which will likely give you points. So there's lots of different points here, and it might give you a bonus action. We'll talk about bonus actions in a section. But you're normally not going to do that. You will play those when there's not much else to do. Usually when you play a card, it's going to allow you to put a diamond somewhere on the board. There are different areas. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 areas, although these 2 areas are connected in a way. So when you play a card out, each area you're going to put out the diamond, and then you're going to score. So let's take a look at these different areas. So first we have the workshops. When you play a card for the workshops, you're going to find that exact spot, and of course there's a lot of them, and you'll place your diamond there. You then score 1 point for each group, the diamond that's in that group. So this would score me 1 point. But let's say next turn I put 1 here. That's going to now score me 2 points. I put 1 there. Now I get 3 points. I put 1 here. I get 4 points. And so it's going to grow. And if you play some cards, will show 2 points. So if I played something like this on that one, now I get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So the more points you get, the better it's going to be. Also, in each area, there's a way to get bonus points. So the first time somebody has a diamond on all 4 of the different symbols out here, you're going to score 20 bonus points. And then the next player to do that is only going to get 15 bonus points, and then 10 bonus points, etc. Now, when you completely surround one of these here, you're going to get to play a bonus action. And it doesn't matter who does it. So let's say that's green, and then purple plays the 3rd one there. Purple's the one who gets the bonus action. Bonus actions are the same no matter what section. All that means is you can then pick a card from all these cards that were placed out here next to the board and immediately play it, which could give you another bonus action, and you can chain them together. In the purple houses area, when you play one of these cards, they're all pretty much going to be the same, a purple card. That just means you place the next diamond in the row here. So if I'm the first player, I'm going to place that one there and get 2 points. Then green places and gets 4 points. If green places again, they're going to go here, and whenever you place them in a row, green will get 3 plus the previous one, which is 7. And if they put 1 here, now they're going to get 12. And purple's like, enough with that nonsense. Purple gets 1. So that's how the purple row works. It's pretty easy. If you put 3 different numbers out, which green did, 4, 3, and 5, you get a bonus action. If you have 4 different numbers, you get one of these bonus points. And if you have 5 different numbers, you get another bonus action. There are 2 citizen areas, and these both play the same way. When you play a card for one of these areas, you get to put your diamond out, but there's a couple rules. First of all, this card you see shows a griffin, but I don't have to place it on a griffin. I can place it anywhere, but it has to be in the bottom row. If you have 2 diamonds that would support a 3rd diamond, then you can start placing in the higher rows. Now, you can place anywhere you want, and you're going to get points based on what row that you put it in, which is going to be 1, 3, and 6. But there's a couple things. First of all, if you match the symbol when you play the card, so let's say I played this griffin card and then placed here, you get double points. So that would be 2 points instead of 1. Secondly, when you place a diamond here, everything that's supporting it also will get points again. So when I place this blue one here, let's say I have the right symbol, so it gets me 6 points. It's also going to give 1 point to me again and 1 point to green. And then if you have all 3 symbols, you get bonus points. And if you place in these top spots, you'll get bonus actions. And again, these 2 sections are the same. There's just different color cards and different symbols for each. In the trade area, when you play a card, you look at the symbol on that card and you'll place it there. And then you score points for however many are in that column. So the first one gets 1. But if someone else plays a second one, now each of those players gets 2. Then maybe say green plays later on. Now green would get 3, 6 points, and purple gets 3. So that's how that works, but it's tied with the harbor. So when you play a harbor card, you're going to put a ship out anywhere you want here. And first of all, a harbor card is always going to let you move your ship. So when you play the harbor card, it's going to, remember I said you could play any card as a move card for your ship, but a harbor card always lets you move. So you move exactly that many spaces and score those points, and you put a ship out. A ship, though, will not score until all 3 ships in a row are filled. When that happens, you're going to look and see how many of the goods in that row are filled, and you're going to score points for that row. Based on each ship is going to score points based on the number. So you can see here that if there's only 1 good, it's 1 point, but if 3 of them are filled, you get 6 points, and that's per ship. So if you get all 4 goods are filled, and you put 3 ships in the same column of the same color, and of course other players are letting you do this, you would get 30 points. Also, I didn't mention the trade goods. If you get 1 of each type, you get the bonus points, and if you give more points to somebody else, you get a bonus action. So that's pretty much the game. You're just going to keep doing this until someone runs out of diamonds or you run out of cards in the deck for rounds. And at that point, whoever has the most points is the winner. So all the diamonds in this game are translucent plastic, and it gives this nice stained glass feel to it. I like that. I think that's neat, the different symbols on the board, although this is a seashell, but because it's green, everyone calls this broccoli. And I don't really find these to be that difficult to tell the symbols apart. The board itself is going to look very complicated when you first look at it. You're like, look at all this stuff on the board. But it's not. And I think that the cards, once you explain scoring to people, it's pretty easy to remember scoring with the exception of ships. I found ships are the most complicated thing to teach people. The cards are, the Hobbit-sized cards. I wouldn't mind if these were slightly bigger, but they work fine. But again, it's this translucent plastic, I think, that's going to attract people to the game. Now, we were talking in the studio about this game, and there's various opinions here. Not everyone loves it. I like it a lot. But this is, we think, Reiner Knizia's only entry into point salad. Every turn, you're getting points. No matter what you do, you might get 1 point, but you might get a lot of points. And sometimes that's just really satisfying. I'm going to place this here, and I'm going to, the purple one is the easiest one for people to play, and I think actually if you get caught up in purple, you might lose the game because it's also easy for other players to stop you. While the workshops, you're spreading out. That's harder to stop. It starts off with fewer, but after a while, you're like, I just got 20 points, and I got those bonus points. Here's an aside. Those bonus points in each section, very important. You get 20 points, even if someone else gets 15, I got 5 more from you, and if you never get the bonus, I got 20 more points than you. You cannot ignore those bonuses. So the bonuses are cool, and also trying to figure out which section to go to. You got to kind of pivot based on another number of players. To that end, let me talk about a slight negative with this game, is I don't think the 2-player game is as engaging as 3 or 4. With 3 or 4, there's more competition for stuff. With 2-player, it's easy for one person to just dominate in a section because the other player is not really going there. I don't think I'll play this again with 2 players. It's just not as good. But with 3 or 4, I think that competition and stuff for the different sections kind of rises above, and it makes it a much more interesting game, and it also makes those bonuses more palatable. I would actually highly recommend this game as a welcoming game for people who are new to the hobby because it's pretty simple. But my concern is the ships are a little more complicated to explain. They don't score immediately. They score only when the 3rd ship's there. Then they score points based on the number of goods in that column. Again, if you're like, oh, that's pretty simple. Sure, but to a lot of people, that's a little more complexity. And I think other than that, it would be a really easy game to teach people. Why do I like the game, though? Straight up, it's those bonus actions. That's really satisfying. You start with a bunch of cards next to the board for bonus actions. You'll add 1 more every round per player. So there's always going to be those there. And there's just something exciting about putting a diamond out, getting a bonus action, which will let you play another card, which gives you another bonus action, which might let you play another card, which gives you another. To chain actions like that is very entertaining. And that being said, I think turns in this game are fairly quick. I'm playing something, you play something, I play something. There's definitely interaction. I don't want you to get a whole bunch of purples in a row. I don't want you to have a whole bunch of goods of the same type. I don't want you to build those pyramids in the citizen section. But I can't do everything. So do you pick one thing and really go hard in that area? Maybe. Do you pick 2? I'm not sure what the best strategy to this game is. Knowing when to move your ship and then land on the 10 points or a bonus action is probably better than 1 point. It's not a complex game. No one's going to be writing books on strategy about Mille Fiori. But I think a lot of people are going to play it and really enjoy it because it's really easy to get into. It's satisfying turns. I make fun of point salad a lot. And by the way, when I say point salad, I mean it's a game that no matter what you do, you're getting points. This is this and this. It's a point salad. But sometimes you want to do that. Sometimes you want to play a game where you're like, ooh, this turn I got 10 points. This turn I got 12. Come on now. Oh, I got 6. And there's just something that gives you these little hits of enjoyment like, whoo, yeah. And I think this game is going to do really well. Then it's beautiful. All those, this kind of plastic can look chintzy in many situations, but that combined with this board, it just is a pretty board. When you're done, you're like, yeah, that looks neat. So this is one I think is going to become somewhat of a hit, actually, when it comes over to America. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it because it has that same tile-laying feeling like that Azul and games like that give you, but it's kind of easy to get into, and it has mechanisms people like. People like card drafting. People like, chaining of points, and definitely people like bonus actions. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, as it does to me, you'll want to check out Mille Fiori. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. Dice Tower judgment approved.